Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Thursday, August 20th, and you can see temperatures low 60s across the area this morning. Very nice rains overnight. We picked up some gusty showers yesterday, mainly across the western areas, but then the band of steady rain with the upper low that moved across the state, bringing about a half to 3/4 of an inch of rain across much of the area. So some very nice rains. We expect much cooler conditions over the next several days. We warm up over the weekend. Then another strong cold front will bring showers and thunderstorms on Sunday or Sunday night into early Monday, followed by some of the coldest air we've seen since last May or June, when we could see highs by Tuesday only in the 60s and some lows maybe down into the very chilly 40-degree range. If we look at the webcam here out of Detroit, you can see a wet start to the morning there in the Motor City, as well as much of the eastern part of the state. And you can see on radar a lot of that showers and thunder showers now moving over to the eastern part of the state, and it'll be lifting off to the north and east. And we'll have dry air come in from the southwest, and that should bring us some sunshine, at least for early in the day. And you can see that on satellite, that tongue of dry air coming in from the southwest. But that's going to create its own issues here as we get into the afternoon, as we get the very strong low pressure system moving off into Ontario from near the western part of the UP. And the cold front, we got a lot of cold air aloft, and with sunshine coming in with this drier air, we're going to create quite a bit of instability to our state here later this afternoon. And that's going to bring more fair weather clouds that'll turn a little bit less than fair weather as we get into the afternoon. I think scattered showers will develop across the area. And you can see them southwest winds, and you can see the circulation around the low pressure. You can clearly see where the cold front is. We got southeast winds, and south winds out ahead are bringing Gulf moisture all the way up into this system. But again, you can see just east of Columbus down towards Tennessee is where the cold front. And if we look at the weather map, you can clearly see that being the case. Later today, that low lifts up towards Hudson Bay. The cold front moves off to the east. High pressure overall will dominate the weather, with the exception of the instability showers later this afternoon. We expect pretty dry Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and our temperatures will moderate over the next couple of days, only in the low to mid-70s here today. I think we'll be in the upper 70s tomorrow, and then I think around 80 degrees or so for Saturday and Sunday, again before the next strong cold front heads this way and brings us much cooler air for much of next week. Over the next 7 days, I think we average about 5 to 7, maybe 8 degrees below normal per day. And while we're above normal for the month of August right now, barely 0.7, I think we'll slip below. And I think that's going to, even with the warm air coming at the end of this month for the last 3, 4, 5 days and to start September, I think it's going to be a close call, but I think we're going to end up slightly below normal. And if that's the case, that'll be 17 of the last 20 months being below normal. If we look at the expected precipitation here over the next 7 days, not a whole lot across lower Michigan, a little more in the UP, as some of the systems will be closer to them riding along the northern U.S. border into Canada, but close enough to give some of the northern Great Lakes and Midwest areas a little more appreciable precipitation. Again, for us, some of this precipitation today will be a few hundreds, so possibly around a tenth and a half. Now, as you get west of 131, can't rule out some isolated heavier showers, maybe a 1/4 inch or better. But overall, a pretty light pattern. Most of the time, it will be dry, but there'll be lots of clouds, and with winds about 15 to 30 miles per hour, it's going to feel much like late September rather than late August. So it'll be pretty chilly out there, a little feel of fall in the air. And again, I'll be up in Nowego today talking about our fall forecast that we might expect and what effects the strong El Nino and some other factors may have on our winter, but more importantly on next spring and next summer's growing season. So we'll talk about that up there today. If we, oops, this is an updated map, so it shifted on me. Here's the severe weather reports from yesterday, if I can get this into position. You can see not a lot of severe weather. Just mainly some wind reports of damage across the areas around from Clio down towards Flint and near the Henderson area, it looks like. But there was also an unconfirmed report of a tornado in Alcona and Oscoda counties as well. And I'm sure they'll investigate that later. And if we look at how cold it might be by next Tuesday morning, you see the GFS has lots of the areas of lower Michigan into the 40s, and look at that, even in the upper 30s across parts of western Wisconsin, back into Minnesota, even the western end of the UP. So very chilly air for early next week. But on the bright side, yesterday you've seen some of the normal they were forecasting here in the longer range, and I said you'll probably see this develop. I think where the center of the warmer than normal temperatures are going to be across the Great Lakes here as we end the month of August and start September, as we have a big upper ridge that's going to create a lot of warmth across the eastern United States as the trough establishes itself over the west with colder than normal temperatures there. Thanks for stopping by and have a great day, and 73s to all.